Welcome back to the WCS America Premier League round of 32. We're here in Group C. We just saw Polt advance into the round of 16, going 2-0 versus Idra and 2-0 versus Ghost User. He was nice enough to join us on Skype for a few quick questions about how the games went. How you doing, Polt?
Hi, I'm very good now.
So the first question is that first game on Daybreak against Idra. Did you feel, you were behind or ahead in the game when you left? How did you feel it was going?
Actually, I thought first, I was a little bit nervous, so I couldn't play activated. I was very passive, but I thought I could win. But when I lost many units and I was behind that supply, I think I was very far behind. I actually don't exactly know though. Then I thought just if I could hold the Idra's attack, then I could win, and I could hold that Ultras and Brutal Lord's attacks, and I thought that at that time I will win the game.
Well, it definitely worked out very well for you. We then saw you head up against two pretty much roach baiting all-ins, first from Idra in game 2, and then from Ghost User in that first game. And you held them convincingly, even using a siege tank against Ghost User. Is that something you've been practicing, adding a siege tank into your play?
Actually, I practiced that build, making one siege tank for defending roach baiting attacks. So nowadays, many Terran uses that triple command center. So I thought maybe Drugs gonna attack roach baiting. So I practiced, and it was very good for me.
It definitely did work out really well. You didn't look like you were in any trouble at all in those two games. And then two last questions. First one's going to be against Ghost User. When you played in the mid and late game, your drop play seemed extremely effective. Is that something that has always worked out for you well in practice?
Normally, Zerg use muters and bending javelins like Idra, but Ghost User used to infestors, so if Zerg make many muters, then it's very hard to go drop attacks, but he doesn't have muters, so I could drop play and it works.
Nice, nice. It definitely did. Very hard for him to defend that. And then lastly, you're now into the round of 16. Looking forward and looking at the next round of 16 and then further down the road, even the potentially finals of the round of 8 and onward, is there any player you're particularly worried about facing or you think could give you a hard time?
Actually, many, I think almost all of players are very, not easy, it's very tough, I think. So, I just want to make same races in my group so I could practice it easily.
It worked out well for you in this group and you went 4-0 in a very convincing fashion. Congratulations on advancing to round 16 and thank you for answering these few questions for us. I'm going to let you go now as we're going to jump into our next match, which is going to be Idra vs Revival. But again, a big thank you for joining us on this interview, Paul.
Yeah, thank you.
Congratulations, Polt. Okay, then it got off.
Okay, so now we're off course into the fourth match of the day. And to see how we got there, we saw the game started, or the day started out, with Polt 2-0 in Idra. Then we saw Ghost User take out Revival. In the winner's match, we saw Ghost User fall to Polt, leading Polt to be the first person to advance from the group. And now we're into the loser's match between Idra and Revival. The loser of this match is going to have to fall down into the Challenger Division. The winner will advance to that final match against Ghost User.
I think it's going to be really exciting, man. I really think either of these three guys can make it if Idra's mindset is in the right place and if he feels confident in ZVZ, which has always been like at least quite a mechanical matchup. Because hey, like if you kind of like just trading units left and right, it comes down to injects, it comes down to speed and also smart movement around the map. And if there's one thing that Idra would still excel at, it should be that, because his mechanics are always, I mean, no one would doubt Idra's mechanics.
Definitely not. He's up against his teammate though, which always adds a little interesting element of, they both have probably practiced with each other a decent amount, or maybe not, but they're more likely to be familiar with each other's styles than you would maybe with a total stranger.
Yeah, that is true, and normally, of course, that is definitely the case. But I have a hard time imagining Idra practicing with the guys who are over in Korea, because I think that Revival is still in Korea right now.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I have a hard time imagining Idra really playing a lot of custom games with Revival. I think that Revival probably practices more with the guys who are actually in the house.
EGTL house. Yes. That is definitely true, and we did actually see Revival lose to another American Zerg in his first match in Ghost User. So could Idra pull the double American victory over Revival?
And that would also mean that at least one more American is going to make it to the round of 16.
That's right. In fact, we've actually seen someone from the Americas advance in the last 3 rounds, actually.
I think we're onto something.
Yeah, we're on a streak.
Yeah, I mean, it's good news for Huck tomorrow as well, as he's basically the only American, well, North American tomorrow.
Yeah, if you count all the Americas, of course, you have 2 in that group as well. But on this match, first map is Aklon Waste, and we have in the top left-hand corner the blue Zerg, EG Revival. His opponent in the bottom right-hand side of this map, his fellow teammate Zerg from a different continent, EG's Idra.
That was a solid zoom. Solid build-up, solid zoom. Bam. Introduction of a lifetime.
We're getting better at this, aren't we?
Oh, right. Give me a weekend. Getting all the job offers from like a week. I'm so curious to see how Idra likes to play. Spoke a little bit about with a couple of guys who play against Idra pretty often. One of those guys is Vibe, of course, one of my teammates, Off-Road Gaming. And Idra still streams quite a bit as well. If you watch his style, I would say that Idra plays one of the most straight-up ZVZ styles there is right now. Both players going hedge first over here, by the way. Idra just likes to make a couple of links, banelings early on, but never commit to a certain amount that he is like semi-all-inish, or he tries to kill his opponent. Idra loves Mulilist. Like, he absolutely adores them, or at least it kind of feels like it, because he makes them in almost every single ZVZ that he plays. But what he likes to do different than most Zergs is that he stops droning a little bit earlier. Instead of going up to like 51 or 53 drones, it's most of the time around like mid-40s, like 44, 45, and actually makes a large group of links in a phase of the game where you don't really expect it, and with those links he tries to kill his opponent's third base, and then just turn it into a Mutawar where he has the advantage because he should have more Mutalists. That is really kind of characteristic of Idra's ZVZ style that he has shown on stream, and also from what I've heard, but it's been a while since we saw Idra play competitive ZVZ matches. Actually, I don't think he's played a single one, because Moro played Terran back then, so
yes,
it might be a completely different Idra, because hey, ladder is not WCS.
Usually with Idra, you can just kind of see what the top Zergs in Korea are doing, because Idra's a guy who really loves to focus on his mechanics, and he's, you know, he really models a lot of his play off what you see in the very top level in Korea. But we did see him against Polt in that first map. That was not an ability you see very often. He teched very late and got a lot of hatcheries. So, and like you mentioned about his Zerg versus Zerg, sometimes he cuts drones a little bit earlier to get a better attack on the third base, so we could see a little bit of his own flair in this game as well.
Yeah, and I'm actually expecting a very similar style from Revival, but Revival might make a few more drones than his opponent, but I'm kind of expecting to see this turn into a Mutafest. Obviously, we are going to see a lot of Mutalists in the upcoming 4/hopefully 6 games, because I don't want this party to be over yet, even though I'm also looking forward for the extra party. Birthday parties tonight. It's been no better way to celebrate your birthday than first casting some WCS and then actually having some drinks with boys. And talk more about StarCraft, because that's always what nerds end up doing. So
every conversation ends.
You see that girl there over there? No, but you know what I do in ZVP? Like, oh, let's talk about that instead. That's how our bar adventures often go, guys.
It definitely does. But that's a sign of true passion, right?
Oh, so much passion. Mailing that's going down on either side so far, a pretty identical game, even though Idra's making quite a few links, but his opponent made those links before, both players making a couple of Bane links, but obviously most of those Bane links are defensive. Even though Idra might be a little bit worried right now, because he's like, hey, 4 Bane links, aggressive, what are you up to? But Idra is doing the same amount. Revival already up to droning, so he's probably going to have a slight worker advantage for a very short amount of time, but that's literally it.
This looks very similar to what Revival did against Ghost User. Puts on this like 12 to 16 speed lead with a few baning pressure, tries to get his opponent to overreact, and then meanwhile he's droning like a maniac behind it. And then as long as he makes sure that he doesn't die, if his opponent does overreact and make a lot of speedings, he has to be able to defend it.
Idra not really falling for it though. He's dropping all extractors immediately. His layer is a little bit later than one of his opponents, but just barely. We're talking about 10, 12 seconds. By the time that, if one guy would produce Mutalisk a little bit quicker, by the time the Mutas cross the map, those 10 seconds are gone. So it's looking extremely, extremely even so far. Taking a close look at the drone count, 38 against 38. So this is already a crucial phase in the game. Idra makes 6 more drones right now, but what is it going to be after this? Is he going to make more drones? Is it both players just going to be passive? Or will Idra make a huge swell of links and try to make something happen, try to deny the turret base from Revival? And of course, it's safe to sorry to cut you off there, but it's safe to say both players are going to drop a Spire. That's not the most risky prediction out there.
No. That's kind of the very standard ZVZ. Two speedings going down there, and well, you know that's not a super great trade, 1 baiting for 2 speedings. But you really don't want to let your opponent get any speedings into your main base, because then they can see your exact saturation, they can see if you're stockpiling speedings or not, as well as see the exact timing of your Spire, most likely.
And look at this, Idra right now on 47 drones, and now he is making a lot of links. Revival's kind of doing the same though, and he had a few more drones, but he didn't overdo it. It's not like Revival blindly went up to 55 drones, and he's gonna have trouble keeping that third base alive. That doesn't seem to be the case, but Idra making more and more links in a phase of the game where you often see people making a few links, because of course, hey, you have a decent economy right now, and you want to keep this third base alive, and that is also important. But if you're able to force a cancel on your opponent's one, well, that's when the game really starts getting nice for you.
It looks like a speedy baby skirmish in the middle. Whoever wins here.
Oh, Idra speed. Well, that went okay. Oh, if that one bailing, okay, those 2 Zerglings are gonna pick up that one bailing. That actually.
He almost put too many on there. Idra with a slight.
He still has way more links on the map right now. He has a couple of additional links on the way. Of course, Revival is making a lot of links. Oh, those 2 bailings! That is so massive for Revival.
Oh man, if it wasn't for that big baiting hit, his third base could have been in danger. Yep. Idra still continuing to put on more pressure. Yeah,
he wants to force a cancel on that base. Revival, a little bit sloppy there. Lost a lot of Zerglings.
Okay. These battles are just so tense, and now it looks like Revival is pretty much swinging in the other direction. He's starting to push Idra back. Both players are now adding into their Mutalisk.
Yeah, but still, you could eventually say, hey, this all went sort of well for Revival. Like 4 drones might not seem like a big deal, but it is actually a pretty big deal. Idra wanted to do a little bit more there than he did, and he totally could have. But the position of those 2 banelings that were morphing over here, keeping this hatchery safe, was fantastic for Revival, and getting that one big detonation of killing all those links basically forced Idra to back off. And Idra, of course, has to make Mutalisk eventually as well, so he couldn't make any links anymore. And during all this, we had a 4, 5, 6 drone advantage for Revival, which in a Muta war, it's a pretty big deal.
It can definitely add up and turn to a speeding advantage, which of course, then again, allow you to attack your opponent with those vicious run-bys. Kind of a cute move from Idra here, moving his Spine Core out to the front. Of course, it means speedings can run by it, but it could take out banings very easily if they try to run by, and it can still put some damage onto speeding. So an interesting idea there. Revival, of course, keeping that Spine Core back more into natural.
I definitely like it as well. Muta count is very even on both sides. A slight advantage for Revival, and that's actually a pretty bad sign, considering the fact that what do we have over here? Just a little skirmish going on. That Revival does have a significant worker lead, in my opinion. It used to be 10 drones, now it's 8. It was 7 before. Like Idra is gonna have a hard time catching up. Slowly but steady, as soon as he doesn't have any gas, he will morph a couple of additional drones. But still, all this time, Revival is just gonna mine slightly more. And we can see it in the supply counts as well, man. Like 15 supply is a pretty big deal in the mirror matchup.
It really is. Muta's both kind of afraid to engage each other. Both players finishing up their Carapace upgrade. And, at first, the majority of Zergs seem to go straight for level 2 Carapace. But then over the last, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks, it seems the Flyer Attack 1 is getting a lot more popularity. It's much cheaper and it researches faster. So it can really... investing that 225 in that Flyer Carapace, well, it's a better upgrade. You're going to be down and muted for quite a long time.
And it takes a long time before it can actually kick in as well, of course. But yeah, interesting to see how that develops. On one hand, you could also say it's a sad thing to see that is the most interesting development in this matchup. But let's not be negative here, guys. Muta's War can be very exciting. Certainly when there are Zerglings dancing below it. There's quite a circling advantage for Revival as well, though. So this one Bailey could be such a hero. If Idra would be able to take out all those links, then it's actually a very, very even game.
A Revival with the 4th base. Once he starts mining from 8 gases, he's going to have the advantage. Idra wants to fight now before the gas kicks in.
It's 30 Mutalisk against 30 Mutalisk. But those Zerglings and Bane is going to be oh so important because you don't want to take a fight while the other guy has a lot of Zerglings below it. Revival keeping that base alive is pretty massive, man.
It is. He's trying to distract Idra with the speedings because even though the meters are equal now and maybe he would win a fight being closer to his rally point, the longer he waits, the greater advantage he gets having that the extra double gases at that 4th base.
Yeah, and not just just additional larva, additional gas. And he still has a higher drone count as well, so as soon as the main runs out, that base is going to be ready. Idra does show signs of a 4th base as well. While we do have this big engagement going on, well, here you go. Take it away.
Muta's on Muta action there. Both players, all the Mutas in the front there. No one's trying to pull back some of the weakened ones. It looks like Revival with a big flock of reinforcing Mutas takes that one pretty convincingly.
Yep. Just had a slightly higher Muta count, had more units on the ground for a little while as well. And as silly as it sounds, guys, it all comes down to this early game. 4 drones ahead means eventually 6 to 8 drones ahead. Means eventually you're gonna have that 4th base quicker, you're gonna have quicker Mutalisk. Your opponent has to do something, but he's just not really able to do something. Very well played by Revival, and yeah, unfortunate for Idra. I really think this one mistake where when he had like a 15 speedling lead, but those like 10 or 12 speedlings run into those 2 banelings at the 3rd base, that decides his entire game.
It really did. I mean, it put him on the back foot, and to kind of get ahead, he had to make some really cool tactical play or some brilliant micro, and it was pretty much just neck and neck as far as execution from there on out. And if you're behind in a race and you go neck and neck,
certainly when you're producing the same units, it's just like, well, you know, it's kind of like playing what we both know so well, playing PvP is like, okay, the guy's 1 Phoenix ahead. Maybe I can, chrono boost, but the other guy's chrono boosting too, so it doesn't really matter. And it's just like, eventually you look at the replay, he was still 1 Phoenix ahead. Damn it.
There's always a chance he'll supply block himself, so, you know, of course you're going to hang in there, but you know, Revival didn't make any mistakes from there on out, maintained that lead and closed out that game.
This was beautiful played by him, and hopefully for all the Idra fans out there, for all the just perhaps American fans out there, Idra will be able to bounce back in game number 2. The winner, of course, of this series will go on to play against Ghosty User, and that's going to be really tough for either of them. I would personally love to see an Idra versus Ghosty User matchup, certainly because they've been exchanging some words every now and then, even though Idra has been mostly ignoring him, but Ghosty User is like poking him all the time. It's kind of like an unfriendly Facebook poke. It's like,
those are the worst kind, when it's somebody you don't really know and they're poking you in the Facebook and you're like, who is that guy?
What do you want, man? Leave me alone.
That would be a very exciting match. We'll see if it happens, if Idra can make the comeback and win the next 2 games against Revival. Game 2 will be coming up after a short break.